Well, I would say it's definitely title or bust. I don't think this group of players is going to be happy with something outside of that, even if it's a, it's not looked upon as being easy by any means. And I don't even know if they are the favorite. I think in their own minds, they feel like if they, look, this is still LeBron, it's still Anthony Davis, it's still a bunch of proud veterans. They feel like they have enough talent to win. They'd also know that it's never guaranteed. A lot of it depends on health later in the season. But from the fan base perspective, I just think it was such a bummer that for Laker fans to have that magical run in the bubble, but only be able to watch it on TV, not be able to share those moments at Staples Center, not be able, because that's, Justin, that's part of what the beauty of for all of us that work in sports. It's that collective feeling, that collective experience. And it's just a little different when you got to do it on FaceTime, right, with your grandpa across the country or what have you, and that you can't take your kids to a Laker playoff game. So, and you don't get to get the parade. So as much as it was amazing that they won the title, and of course they wouldn't trade that for anything, it's just also I think it leaves a certain amount of hunger, right? Still that all right, and Rondo has said this, Dwight Howard has said this, LeBron has said this. They're really motivated to try and get this a title that they can share, right? A title that they can celebrate with the fan base because they know that left a lot to be wanting. As proud as they were to raise banner number 17.
So, Mike, who do you think provides the biggest roadblock in the West? With Golden State, Klay Thompson, his return is pretty imminent within the next couple of months. And then you have different teams, jockeying for position. So who do you think is going to provide kind of the biggest kind of roadblock and cost the Lakers the most problems this year within the Western Conference?
Yeah, so it's a really interesting year for the Western Conference because you have some teams that I think could have been elite, right there with the Lakers and with the Suns, like the Clippers. But of course, Kawhi Leonard goes down, and nobody knows if he's even going to be able to come back at all for this season. Then you have Denver, who has Jamal Murray. He tears his ACL in April. He's not going to be back till later in the season. And you think that just those alone, right? One injury to a star in the NBA, it just makes a huge deal. It just does. So with that said, I mean, I give Phoenix probably the most respect out of the teams that are among those contenders. And I think they earned it with a caveat. Now they don't want to hear this, right? But of course, Anthony Davis stays healthy. I think the Lakers beat them. They were up 2-1. They had no answer for AD. He had 34 points in games 2 and games 3. He was getting to the free throw line whenever he wanted. And this was with a LeBron James who wasn't 100% healthy. And I understand that Chris Paul wasn't 100% healthy either. But ultimately, if AD stays healthy, Phoenix is out in the first round. But they still played really well. They went on and they handled business in the rest of the conference. I think they're better than Utah. Clearly, Utah is a really good regular season team to me, Justin, but we just know that the ceiling is a little bit lower based on the way teams play against them in the postseason. Yeah. And so I think you got to give Dallas, you got to pay attention to Dallas because of how great Luka is, and just catching him in a playoff series. We'll see if Kristaps can take a step this year, be healthier, et cetera. We'll see if somebody else can emerge alongside Luka. But in terms of just complete teams, yeah, I think the Lakers are at a massive disadvantage from a continuity standpoint, but they have the talent. And by the time the playoff comes and they're in a series, it's, are you going to pick somebody to beat LeBron and Anthony Davis, plus Russell Westbrook in the degree that he's integrated by then, to beat them 4 times? I can't pick that. You could see it happening in certain circumstances, but that's the long answer. The short one is I would put Phoenix high on that list, and then sort of a we'll see about Jamal Murray and Denver once he gets back. And by the way, Golden State has to be mentioned too, right? Like Golden State, their question mark is Klay. And how much of Klay is Klay, and how much can Jordan Poole approximate that? So I don't want to dismiss Golden State though. I got to put them in that group for sure.